Welcome to UNCAGED, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with Vikki Williams Cornwall. Vikki, how are you?
I am doing well.
I'm excited to talk with you, Vikki. Vikki is the Vice President of Global Marketing and Product Development at Roc Skincare. She has a lengthy career in the beauty, healthcare, and wellness space at companies like L'Oreal, Avon, Walgreens Boots, and now at Roc Skincare. And so we're going to be talking a lot about beauty products, but also that shift that's happening where these companies are starting to move into the healthcare and wellness space. And really how Vikki's playing a key role in spearheading that. But before we get there, Vikki, tell me a little bit about you and your career.
I'm a native Southerner, but I've been living in New York for long enough now to be considered a New Yorker. But I'm also a global marketer, as you mentioned, and an innovation specialist with the background in engineering, which is a little bit different than most marketers, I would say.
Yeah.
I received my my undergraduate degree in chemical engineering many moons ago, but I started my career working in operational roles like purchasing and supply chain management at Colgate-Palmolive. A little not as exciting as marketing, but interesting nonetheless. And Colgate was the first company that I worked for coming out of engineering school.
That's really interesting. I think, in fact, actually, with my own experiences with marketing and communications, that transition from those roles, those operational roles and procurement kind of makes a little bit of sense in the way that marketing has evolved with processes and data, et cetera, for sure. But tell me more, Vikki, about what you and the team are working on at Roc Skincare.
Yeah, so at Roc, we are really focused on bringing the most efficacious products that we can to market for our consumers. The consumer today is much more educated. We call them skintellectuals. They are very educated to a certain extent on ingredients and different types of product forms, et cetera. And we have social media and TikTok to thank for that. But they're very much more demanding than ever before. So, we really are, working with our R&D team very closely, pulling and pushing each other to come out with the most efficacious, enjoyable products that we can to really help the consumer, want to use the product on a regular basis to be able to get the outcome that they want from their skin and their appearance.
I don't know if I could say it correctly. Skintellectuals, is that right?
Intellectuals, that's right.
I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, Vikki, you and I were chatting a little bit before the show today, and you were talking about kind of that move from really focusing on beauty to really working in that broader kind of wellness and healthcare space. And I'd love to understand that a little bit more clearly. What's that evolution that we're seeing here?
One of the reasons that you're seeing this shift from beauty to more health and wellness is really the increase in interest in health and wellness from the consumer themselves. And this is definitely expedited by the pandemic. There was an increase in understanding the role that the skin plays on overall health. Skin is the largest organ in the body, and it acts as that barrier against harmful factors like UV rays, pollution, et cetera. So I think there's more understanding that taking care of the skin is a crucial component to your overall health and wellness.
So it really kind of understanding literally that kind of, I guess, macro perspective, and then that's really shifted on the details of what you can be doing. But I mean, certainly there's no doubt that the industry that Roc Skincare plays in is one of the most dynamic industries on the planet. There's always something new, some new challenge. Tell me a little bit about some of the biggest challenges that you and the industry are facing right now.
I would say that there's a few things that are going on that you mentioned. It's definitely a dynamic environment. One thing which I hinted on is the fact that consumers are learning a lot from a lot of different places, but education in general is a big challenge. Having consumers understand the benefits for the products, which products to use, how to use them, et cetera. There's really a sea of products that are lining the store shelves at this time. Consumers are very confused about what products to use and then how to use them.
I mean, if the skin intellectuals are confused, then people that are
Absolutely.
I don't know what you would call people like me. I'm not intellectual with it, but I am definitely confused. I'll tell you one thing that always gets me is that I'll find a product and I'll fall in love with it, and then they'll change the packaging on me. And then I'm like, and I go to the store shelves and I don't really remember the name, and I don't remember, but I can't see the packaging, and I'm just like, oh.
You're like,
What do
it's
I
the green one. It
do?
was the green one. Where's the green one?
Yeah, so I'm that horrible customer that's going to the person going like, it was in a green bottle. Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting because nowadays, with the growth of video content within social media and different technology, we as brands have a better opportunity to better educate consumers, to talk to them more, to connect with them more about the how and why of the products, but then where to use it, when to use it, et cetera, to really just drive that more authentic and transparent messaging to the consumer.
And, Vikki, you have an amazing background where you've worked in retail. You've certainly worked in all the lovely operational challenges of marketing, and also right on the marketing and product face as well. I'd love to get a idea of what you're seeing right now. I mean, we've come through this watershed moment with the pandemic where our lives were flipped on their head, and the way we worked changed. But how has that affected the sector, the beauty, health, and wellness sectors?
I think really it definitely is expediting this shift that we're seeing. This growing focus on overall health is really the biggest impact, I would say, that came out of the pandemic. Skincare products are no longer just about improving the appearance of the skin. They're now seen as an essential tool for maintaining that overall skin health and wellness. And I think that's exciting. I personally am focused on creating effective products that promote skin health and wellness, which in turn should cause the end user to feel better inside and out. You're seeing a bigger focus on self-care now.
It's interesting also, I mean, when you think of like that omni-channel marketing, omni-channel commerce perspective. In my career, I've worked with a ton of large retailers, and, I can remember 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, these retailers would talk about things like electronic commerce as if it was like, oh, well, the sales of our e-commerce unit is worth one of our worst performing stores, and so they would discount it. But nowadays, I feel like almost all of these purchases in some form or fashion start online, start digitally somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how that's changed.
In the past, you learned about a product either because you saw something on a commercial on TV, or you were in a store and you're walking past the shelves. These days, you've got Amazon, you have all these different ways to have products, or your products in general, any product in your life delivered directly to you. You don't spend as much time in the stores anymore. Where people spend their time? Social media. And that's where a lot of people are getting their education these days, through social media, hearing from others who they consider trusted sources. Well, big growth you're seeing right now in social media are doctors, actual doctors on, talking about the health of your skin and et cetera, but also about products, and they're recommending products. So that's where consumers are getting their information now.
Joy. Well, I mean, I think I am one of those people. Sometimes we'll see these things in social media, and it'll be a new product. And now there's all these drinks that have a variety of mushrooms in them, and a replacement for coffee. And I'll go to my fitness gurus in my company, and I'll ask them, is this legit? Should I try this? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. We find out differently. But tell me a little bit. I mean, Vikki, you've worked in a lot of different companies and key roles, and you've worked at Roc through a really interesting moment. Certainly, the pandemic has been a challenge. But tell me what brings you the most joy with the work that you do.
I'm actually energized by being around people. So while I love the freedom and the more autonomy that working from home gave me, it allowed me to, just to run and put clothes in the dryer while I was, waiting for a meeting to start or something. But at the same time, I enjoy the having that ability to go into the office some days of the week to interact, because I'm energized by being around people. And I currently work with some of the smartest and kindest people at Roc. We are a small team, but what brings me joy is collaborating with that team, cross-functionally, creating amazing solutions for our consumer needs.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, I think that we heard a lot about efficiencies during. I mean, the reality is that I had no problem with efficiencies during the pandemic. We operated extremely efficiently, but there was something lost. I mean, I think what I said to some of my colleagues is that humans are humans. Like humans like people, we like each other. That's, that's why we're here on the planet. Like we're here to see each other. So it's important to interact and bounce around ideas that you perhaps wouldn't have stumbled upon otherwise. Totally makes sense. Two kind of part questions here I have for you. First, I wanted to ask you about 2023. So we find ourselves in a new situation, new marketing challenges with maybe some economic stresses for every household in the world. What's on the docket for you guys in 2023?
One of the biggest trends that's hitting everyone outside of beauty consumer products, period, is around sustainability. Today's consumers want products that they're buying to be in line with their ethics. Mintel, which is a consumer research company, recently said that I think it's like over a third of consumers say they want to buy more sustainable brand products, even if the products were lower quality, which really surprised me. So the onus is really, not just the end consumer anymore. It's for us brands to make sure that we are paying attention to that and making big moves, move the needle on issues like climate change, et cetera. So that's a big focus for us to figure out, what does that mean for us as a brand, trying to be more sustainable, which is not easy to do. A lot of, especially particularly the bigger brands, we've kind of been doing things the same way for many years, but you really have to take a step back and say, okay, we have to look at this from a different lens. How do we solve this new problem?
Yeah, no, it's a really, really good point. And certainly when you're a scaled business like Roc Skincare and trying to affect that change at scale globally presents a whole nother set of challenges that if you can get right are incredibly valuable for sure. But I mean, Vikki, you've had this amazing career. You've worked in global marketing, you've worked in operations, you've been a marketing director, you've worked in retail. Tell me more about how you see your own career evolving.
I am a creature of change. From engineering to marketing I love a challenge. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I'm a problem solver. So, I've been thinking a lot about big challenges in the world and how I could play a part in solving those challenges. One of the ones that I see for my future and looking forward is around an area that we're all going to encounter at some point, navigating this very complex health and wellness area. I think there's an opportunity to make a meaningful impact in the world around that.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly evolving quickly. And I would say something that is a little bit heartening is that I do feel like my younger colleagues seem to be a little bit more focused on health and wellness. So, it's, in other categories like, spirits and beer, we're seeing them, they're consuming a lot less than previous generations, which is really, really interesting. And so there seems to be a lot more of a focus there, which is great. Obviously, long way to go, and certainly kind of making it easy for people to understand where they can go is always going to be key and helpful. Well, Vikki, if someone wanted to find you and learn more about what you and the Roc Skincare team are up to, where's the best place to find you?
Roc, we have a great website at rocskincare.com to find out all about our new products. We have an amazing initiative with our brand purpose that we've recently launched around optimism and truly understanding the impact and the effects of having a more optimistic outlook on your future. So all that could be found on our website. And then I'm always on LinkedIn.
Excellent. Well, Vikki, it's been great speaking with you. We've been speaking with Vikki Williams Cornwall. She's a VP of Global Marketing and Product Development at Roc Skincare. And we've been talking to her actually about the marketing as well as all of the other business evolutions that we're seeing in that broader kind of beauty space, skincare space. Really evolving into thinking about healthcare as well as wellness. She talked a little bit about skintellectuals, which is this smart consumer, maybe more educated than they'd been in the past about how certain beauty products might impact their health, how they might be made, are the products sustainable, and how some of those issues are becoming much, much more critical to customers going forward. Vikki, it's been amazing speaking to you today, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you so much, Ben. Look forward to coming back.
Cheers.